Well, good morning and welcome back to another edition of the Journal. I know it's been a while since I put an episode out, but sometimes life just happens. We've been extremely busy over the last several months. I just got back from 2 weeks in Scotland with Katie. That was a tremendous vacation for me, and I got to explore a little bit of the Highland area and Edinburgh and Glasgow and a lot of the Highland areas, and got to see some pretty interesting things. Got to go to probably 5 or 6 castles, stayed in some phenomenal hotels, had some of the best seafood I've ever had in my life, and I got to see what I found out later was a 100-mile kind of through hike of the Highlands called the Highland Way, which I didn't even know about until I got home and did some research. I kept seeing hikers along the trail and backpackers. It was pouring rain in sections, and they were hiking down the trail, and they were all covered up in rain shells, and they had their hoods up, and some of them had umbrellas. And then in some of the towns we went to along the way, especially toward the end, a little town called Aviemore. It was a real small, tiny little town, and they had 3 outdoor stores, kind of like an REI sort of, and they had really good sales because it was a closing. One of the stores was closing down for the season, I guess, in the winter, and so that was pretty exciting trip that we did. 2 weeks in Scotland, and then on top of that, we also Jerry, Dave, and I went to the Mojave Preserve again. And we spent 3 days out there exploring the Mitchell Caverns. We also went back out to the SEMA Dome, and we did about a 10-mile round trip, 8-mile round trip hike out into the dome. We went and checked on our Joshua trees that we planted 2 years ago, and all 3 of us carried about 4 or 5 gallons of water. So you can imagine the weight on that. And it basically started to snow. A light snow flurry hit us. It was really cold. It was the coldest trip I've ever taken. It got down to 18 degrees over the 2 days, the 2 nights that we spent there, the 3 days and 2 nights. But we also got to take a trip about 30 miles round trip out to across the Mojave Road and along the train tracks and out to a little town called Kearsarge, which isn't really even a town anymore. We visited a 100-year-old or almost 100-year-old grave site adjacent to the railroad tracks in the middle of nowhere. And then we went and finally knocked it off my bucket list. We got to go to the Mojave Megaphone, so that was a pretty interesting trip. And then on top of that, we literally just got back from Tucson a couple of 2 days ago. So I went to see my brother-in-law for Thanksgiving. Got to take the dog with us, so Otto got to go with us. He just loved it there. He just loved the scenery and his gorgeous house and his phenomenal pool. So that was pretty exciting. And then on top of that, in 2 days, I'm going to take a solo hike up at the top of Hot Springs Mountain. I don't know if I'm going to get all the way to the top or not. I have some things that I want to do on the way up there, so we'll see if I make it. I might get to the top and then stop on the way back. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, in this episode of the Journal, we're going to finish our trip up to the Eastern Sierras, and we're going to pick up right where we left off at Kearsarge Lakes, number 3-ish. And we're going to take a day hike out to Charlotte Lake. So we have to go past Bullfrog Lake, get back on the John Muir Trail and the PCT, and for a little short section. Then we're going to take a little side trip down to see Charlotte Lake, where there's a seasonal ranger station there. And so we do that. We go down to check out the Charlotte Lake visitors, the ranger station there. And then we take a different trail back toward Kearsarge Pass. So we went up along the high trail, which gave us some phenomenal views looking down into Kearsarge Valley. And then spent one more night there, and then worked our way back up and over the pass and back down to the car. We had some exciting things happen to us on this last night, and I'll tell you about that when I get to it. The whole time we were looking for this bear, and he was around. He was cruising, man, and you have to stick around and find out and see if we run into that bear over at Kearsarge Lakes. Well, anyway, stick around, and we'll head back up the trail on a day hike up to Charlotte Lake from Kearsarge Lake number 3. That'll all be coming up in this edition of the Hiking Journal. Just a few minutes. See you in a few. Well, good morning, and welcome back out here to the Kearsarge Pinnacles and the Kearsarge Lakes out here in the John Muir Wilderness in the High Sierras. It's about 6:45 in the morning, and it's 32 degrees. It's a little chilly. I wait for the sun to come up a little bit more on the horizon. The sun's going to be coming up behind me and illuminating the tops of the pinnacles. Our campsite is just around the corner on that point over there. Water's like glass. Well, good morning. It's 32 degrees in camp, and I've got my Foster's pot. I got some Avalanche coffee in there, and got my homemade Fancy Feast stove with about half to 3/4 of an ounce of alcohol. And I'm heating up some water for my coffee this morning. It was a quiet night. Never did see the bear. I did a loop around part of the lake early this morning to get some photos, and I got a couple of spectacular ones. The mirror reflection of the pinnacles in the lake. That was pretty awesome. And I did see some bear scat literally right next to the lake along the trail. So at some point he was here or there. I don't know if that was there when we came in and didn't notice it, or was something that happened afterward. I thought I would have noticed it coming in, but anyway, the sun's illuminating the pinnacles behind me, and it's just absolutely quiet. There's not a sound. Water's like glass. So check on my water here. I have kind of a lot of water in here, so it's not ready yet. I don't know if I have enough alcohol in here to get it to a rolling boil, but it'll be pretty close. So today we're going to leave this camp established. It's a good site. It was protected by the wind. It's got some shade. They kind of dug. It moves around a little bit, so you got to kind of move your chair every now and then. But it's a nice spot. It's got great views. But today we're going to take a day hike. We're going to take our little small day packs, and we're going to go up around the head of the lake and head over to the trail that goes down to Bullfrog Lake. And once we get down to Bullfrog Lake, it meets the PCT, the John Muir Trail right there. We're going to make a right and head about another mile or two over to Charlotte Lake. And Charlotte Lake's got a seasonal ranger station. And right now there's nobody there. And the reason we know that is on the way up here, coming up the Kearsarge Pass. In fact, not too far from the pass, we actually ran into this young gal, park personnel. And she told us she was hiking out, and she was the seasonal ranger at the Charlotte Lake Ranger Station. And she said that she had some friends that were going to meet her somewhere along the way with a bunch of vegetables. So she was really excited about that. So I guess when you know, there's only so long you can live on dehydrated meals, I guess. And I guess they don't get a real good resupply there. They don't get a packed train that dumps off stuff. And I don't know if she's the seasonal ranger that stays there 3 months, or they have a shift where they work 3 or 4 days and they hike out. I don't know. But she said there's nobody there because she left to do this. Now maybe today she'll hike back up again, and who knows? I mean, she's young and fit. Maybe by the time we get there, she'll already be back up there. You never know. But anyway, everybody's all stuffed up. It's from the altitude or what? I don't know. The air is bone dry right now. The humidity is like 22% right now. And we had not one cloud yesterday, and we see a few tiny little clouds coming in. There's a storm front coming in, and when we left to come up here, today is Saturday, there was snow predicted, 20-30% chance of snow predicted on Monday. So when we hike out on Sunday, we should start seeing, and maybe this is it. Maybe this is the leading edge of what's coming in a couple of days. Who knows? So anyway, as soon as my water starts boiling here, this isn't the fastest method, obviously. I have a MSR pocket rocket. I could have heated water up in, 2 minutes. I like this method because it's silent. You can kind of hear it a little bit because it's starting to kind of getting ready to boil. I think it's starting to the vent off, I guess. So anyway, everybody's up around camp. Everybody's walking around camp. Everybody's filtering water. Everybody's taking pictures. This is a great time. It's cold, but this is a great time to be up and about. So anyway, once my coffee water gets hot, I'll mix it up and pick a spot out with a view of the lake and the pinnacles and the sun, and warm up a little bit and enjoy my coffee before we start our day out here at Kearsarge Lakes. Well, good morning. We're going to be taking a day hike today. We're going to leave Kearsarge Pass. We were camped to the left down here, and it's already hot. Believe it or not, breeze is nice and cool. So our trail is going to go a little on the north side of Kearsarge Lakes, and it's going to go all the way down toward Bullfrog Lake, and from there we'll jog a little bit to the right, catch the John Muir Trail for about a quarter mile, half mile section till we reach the Charlotte Lake JMT Junction, and then we'll head up a little rise and then down into Charlotte Lake. Check out Charlotte Lake, go by the ranger station, have lunch, and then work our way back. It's still going to be about an 8-mile day, so it won't be easy. We're still at altitude. We're still at almost 11,000 feet, so I can feel it. It's hard to breathe. But at least we're not carrying packs, carrying little day packs, and they're a lot lighter. And hopefully, it's our third day. We're getting a little bit of our mountain legs, so we'll see how we do today. Well, this is our first decent view of Bullfrog Lake, and we're going to be going to the right up and above that ridge line, and working our way down into that gap between the 4-Point Ridge Mountain and the big steep one on the right. That's where Charlotte Lake is, back in there. And over here are the Kearsarge Pinnacles. Well, right over the edge of this hump right here, we should be able to see Bullfrog Lake. Pinnacles are back that direction. Oh, look at those over there. Oh, that's impressive. Mount Brewer. Snow. Mount Brewer. That is Mount Brewer. Oh yeah, there's some. We can just go left here and walk down. Well, this is Bullfrog Lake, and there's no camping at Bullfrog Lake, and it's a little spongy, just a little bit. I have a great view behind us of Kearsarge Pass, all the jagged peaks. I don't know if I'd step in that. It's probably too soft. That's probably why they don't allow camping here, because it's kind of like a high alpine tundra. But boy, what a stunning lake. This water is clear too. It's pretty shallow. It's shallow out for quite a ways. This would be an absolutely stunning place for a campsite, if they would allow it. I had a great view of Mount Brewer over there. Wow. This is why you come to the Sierras. Well, we've come down a ways from Bullfrog Lake, and this is the outflow past two unnamed small pondish lakes, and the outflow right there, this is where when we did the Ray Lakes Loop, I was out of water. I was severely dehydrated, And I sat on the bank right there and filled up my water bottle with my heart's content. This look familiar, Jerry?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went down there, and boy, that was a godsend to find this little outflow right here. So this little spot has special meaning for me. Boy, this has been a tough stretch. This is one of our toughest stretches. I can't even really talk. I'm pretty severely dehydrated. I only packed about a quart and a half to go up and over Lynn Pass, thinking that on the other side we could refill down one of the lakes down there, but the trail didn't go by the lake. And for the next like 4 miles, there was nothing but hot, dry desert. And way up high on the ridge line, no water access. I slid through every last drop of water that I had. So now I finally got this creek. This is life's blood right here, this water, man. This is gonna be good. Ran into the PCT John Muir Trail Junction, and if you were going to Ray Lakes, you'd be going that way. When we came through here, we went way along the ridge line right there. But today we're going to go to Charlotte Lake. Charlotte Lake should be down there in the hole somewhere. What a gorgeous day. Well, we have finally reached Charlotte Lake. It's quite the descent from the PCT junction, a lot more than we bargained for. We'll see how tired we are going up. Ranger station should be about 3/4 away around the lake on the right side. We're gonna go down there. There's no ranger there today, unless they made a hike back up last night, but boy, what a gorgeous lake. Look at that color. Well, we have reached the Charlotte Lake Ranger Station at Charlotte Lake. And it looks like they had a Coleman propane stove over there.
Oh, got a weather station back there. Old school.
Well, this is Bullfrog Lake down there in the bottom. Pinnacles are to our left, along with Kearsarge Lakes. We came from Charlotte Lake, which is way off on the right. We're taking the high route back, kind of toward Kearsarge Pass, but we're not going all the way to the pass. We're going to go to a junction short of the pass, and we're going to turn right, head back down to the Charlotte Lakes, or head back down to Kearsarge Lakes in our camp. All right, well, here's our view from along the high trail. Kearsarge Pass is over there in that notch to the far left. And this is the trail leads from the Kearsarge Lakes to Bullfrog Lake. And down below is Bullfrog Lake. And way off in the distance is the trail to Vedette Meadows along the Bubs Creek Trail. And a continuation of the PCT toward Forester Pass. An incredible view from up here. We're on the high trail. Kearsarge Valley down below us. Just off Well, we had kind of a tough day today. We hiked almost 8 miles as a day hike from our campsite at Kearsarge Lakes. In fact, one of the lakes is right behind us here. And we had to go from almost 10,990 feet all the way down to 10.3. Hiked around Kearsarge Lake, and then we left Kearsarge Lake at Charlotte Lake at 10.3. Then worked our way back toward the pass, and that's back up at 11,800 feet. So we had quite the climb coming back. Luckily, we just had little day packs on, but on day 3 we were pretty tired. It was just tremendous views coming back from Charlotte Lake. I heated up my coffee here. It's too hot to drink, so I gotta let it vent a little bit. Some tremendous views over the top, looking down into the Kearsarge Lakes Valley and into Bullfrog Lake. And then from there, we also could see over toward Ray Lakes and also down toward Vedette Meadow. And we had quite the tremendous view. So ran into a lot of people, some trail runners, believe it or not, that are doing the whole Ray Lakes loop, 41 miles or whatever it is in one day. And they drove up from like San Diego, parked the car, started their hike at 6:30 in the morning. They're going to do the whole 40 miles and hopefully be back to the car at 9 o'clock at night and then drive home. So that was just nuts. We ran into quite a few people that were doing some serious mileage. Ran into a gal that we don't know where she was from. Sounded like New Zealand or something, but turned out she was from San Diego. I don't know where she's from originally, but we ran into her as we were heading back up from Charlotte Lake. She was heading down toward Charlotte Lake from the top of Kearsarge Pass, and she was asking if the Charlotte Lake Ranger was there, and we told her no, because we had seen her the day before. So anyway, so she went down there, and I didn't believe it or not, on the way as we were continuing back up toward Kearsarge Pass, we ran into her again, and she was right near the top of the junction, and she was coming back. So just some of these people are just amazing. They'll do 40 miles with 12,000 feet of elevation gain like it's nothing. And, we're only doing 500 feet of gain, and we're dying. But it's been really busy here. Today is Saturday night, and every single campsite at Kearsarge Lakes is occupied. And even the ones that you don't even really think are campsites are occupied. And with large groups, too, 4 tents, 3 tents, 10, 15 people, some of them. Like right now, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 people from right here, just looking across the lake. One guy's fishing, and one guy's filtering water, and the other ones are just kind of standing around. So anyway, I'm going to drink my coffee, and hopefully it'll help a little bit with hydration, and then put some calories back in me. And then here in a little bit, I'll fire up my Mountain House. I've got lasagna tonight. So Mountain House lasagna, and then in the morning I want to have the breakfast skillet. And we're going to try to get a fairly early start tomorrow. We didn't get hiking out today until 10, so we're going to try to get an earlier start tomorrow. It'd be nice to be out here by 8, but we'll see. And we got to climb back up to Kearsarge Pass. So we'll go from 10.99, which is what we're at now, up to 11.8. So we'll gain 900 feet of elevation, and then from there it'll be about 4.5, 5 miles maybe, all the way down to Onion Valley in the car. So that'll be the end of our trip. But so far we haven't seen that bear. He said every day about 4:30 or so he does a loop. So there's so many people down here today. Who knows, maybe today's the day he'll come down, because there's so many people. And maybe he'll get lucky and find an open bear can as he cruises around. Anyway, I'm going to have some of my coffee, take a break here a little bit. I had to put on a couple additional layers because that wind was starting to pick up. So there's a storm coming in probably 2 days, maybe 3 days from now, and you can kind of tell. You can feel a little bit of a bite in the air. It was 32 this morning. Who knows what it'll be tomorrow. So anyway, that's going to pretty much do it for tonight. I might do one more little video clip later on while I'm eating the lasagna. And then we'll probably hit the sack early tonight, try to get some good sleep. I haven't slept well at all since I've been up here. So a little better last night, so maybe tonight will be better than the night before. We'll see. All right, Jerry, what are you making tonight?
Tonight is Mountain House beef stew.
All right, use your jet boil. No gourmet peak menu tonight.
No.
You're in the ghetto with the rest of us, the Mountain House.
I think I got a gourmet peak in the morning, though. forgot what it is.
All right.
Check with me again. Fall out.
Get open up my Mountain House lasagna. Had a tough day today. We deserved a good dinner. What'd you think of the hike so far, Dave?
Pretty good, as far as, you know, these lakes are beautiful, and all of them, Kearsarge and Charlotte. Bullfrog, I think, was really the most beautiful, just mainly because it looked like Lake Tahoe. Well, I think there was another one too. Heart Lake was really blue too. I don't remember.
Well, we had the two unnamed lakes between Bullfrog and Charlotte.
Yeah.
The color on Charlotte was tremendous. It was like just a gorgeous blue color.
Right.
Even Bullfrog Lake was really pretty. And then especially coming back on the high route, we got eagle's eye view right down onto Bullfrog. That was pretty cool.
Right. So yeah, overall it's been good.
Has the altitude given you any trouble at all?
Not really. I'm out of shape. I think that's that's the bigger factor, because no nausea, no headaches, but I guess being out of shape a little bit, plus the altitude. I get winded just like everybody. Well, not a lot of people here, damn it, but most people. So
Yeah, I don't know if there's really a cure for 11,000 feet.
right.
Yeah, we had you up front as the pace setter. And I was bringing up the rear and I was dying. I just had a tough time breathing. It was just so, it was the altitude. You know, I was tired too, but I'd go up 20, 30 feet and have to stop, you know, maybe pause for 15, 20 seconds. It would come back. So I knew it was all altitude, but knowing what it is doesn't really make a difference because it still hurts, you know. You still can't do it. I'm gonna finish my lasagna, and then we're gonna clean up a little bit, put the bear cans away, and then a couple hours on the moon is like almost full for the peak over there, over University Peak. And then we're gonna hit the hay, get a good night's sleep. We'll see you again in the morning. Well, I have to tell you the story real quick because it's kind of funny, and if you've ever been in this situation, you'll totally understand where I'm coming from. It was our last night. We were all done with dinner. We were putting our stuff away. We're kind of sort of organizing because in the morning we're going to be packing out. It's past dusk. It's almost dark. You could just barely see a little bit, and it was starting to quiet down around the lake, and you couldn't hear anybody really talking or anything in the distance. And we're putting our stuff away, and all of a sudden this large beastly thing came crashing through the bushes right behind my tent, and it wasn't on a use trail area that you would use to access the tent pad. It was literally coming right through the brush right at us. It was dark, and it was we couldn't really see very well. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this thing came crashing up from behind my tent, and man, we scattered. All you saw was assholes and elbows. Man, we were diving for cover. Chairs were getting flipped over, and we thought for sure this was a bear. Jerry thought it was a bear. Me and Dave both thought it was the bear. He was coming to get us. And so all of a sudden behind my tent is this guy, and he's about 6'2" and about 250 pounds, burly, hairy guy, and he says, "Oh, I didn't mean to startle you." He goes, I heard you up here, and I just wanted to tell you that I'm out of food, and I just was looking to see if you guys had any spare food. And he goes, I'm through hiking the John Muir Trail, and somehow I accidentally left half my food at home, and I got nothing, and I still got like 7 days to go, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm completely out of food, and if you guys could spare anything, I would appreciate it. And so we're kind of looking around like, okay, that's kind of a weird comment, If you forgot half your food, you would notice that at the trailhead, and maybe you wouldn't plan on doing a through hike, but whatever. So anyway, Dave gets his bear can. He's rummaging through trying to find something. He did find a mountain house, an extra mountain house. And you got to remember, though, we're packing up. So the less weight we have in our bear can, the less we have to carry out. So it benefits him that we're going to give him a lot of free food, but it also benefits us because we don't have to carry the weight. So we're going through our stuff, and I'm looking through my bear can. Jerry's looking through his stuff, and we're trying to come up with a plan, something that we could give this poor guy. And so while we're standing there, we notice he's got a fifth of whiskey, a bottle, almost a whole bottle of whiskey in his hand. And this bottle, this is a 750 milliliter bottle of bourbon, and it must have weighed 10 pounds. It seemed like. And I thought, well, why would you bring that and not your food? So it was kind of strange. And then he said, well, he goes, I'll give you a shot of my whiskey for some food. And well, Dave, doesn't really drink that much, and Jerry doesn't drink at all, and I'll have an occasional, nip of whiskey every now and then. I'm a connoisseur; I like it too. And he goes, well, you're really going to like this because this isn't your standard bourbon that you buy over the counter. This is a special small batch made by Jim Beam. It's called Booker's, and it's expensive, and you're really going to like it. So taking liquor from a stranger in the middle of nowhere is probably not good advice. But I kept thinking, while I was digging in my beer can, it'd be kind of interesting to taste this, So I dug out my little cup and I go, hey, just pour me a little shot in there. So he takes his Booker's from Jim Beam, and he pours it in there in my thing. I'm switching it around. He says, hey, just so you know, this stuff's really strong, so you might want to add a splash of water to it. So I put a little splash of water in there, and I tell you what, I took a sip of that, much to the dismay of Jerry and Dave, and I gotta admit, it was pretty damn good. I thought, wow, this is some good stuff. I kept thinking, that's just weird that he would bring this heavy bottle, and heavy bottle of booze and not bring his food, So the more I thought about it, we put together some stuff. I gave him some Baby Bell cheese and a Snickers and some, some other little cookies or Power Energy, bars, and Dave kicked down a whole Mountain House, and Jerry found some stuff that he had in his pack, and so he walked away with at least 2 meals probably worth of snacks to get him to the next campsite. And so after he left, our hearts and our pulse settled back down, and we're thinking, wow, that was just weird, and I'm thinking, okay, this dude's doing a through hike. I wonder if he never planned on bringing food. And he just planned on mooching off every single site he went to on every night. That'd be a way to not have to carry your food. That's genius. That's a genius idea. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I did think that was kind of funny. So we never did get to see the bear, but we got close. So this guy will definitely be in our memories for a long time to come. So anyway, that's the story on the bear at Kearsarge Lakes number 3. So anyway, we're going to finish this video. The next morning, we're going to hike up and over the Kearsarge Pass, and then back down to the town of Independence, and then head home. So anyway, that'll be the end of this video. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the story. I did. I still get a laugh out of it, and my wife still can't believe I took whiskey from a stranger. I don't know. I got to admit, though, it's pretty good. And I did look it up when I got home, and it's $140 a bottle. So that's not something I'm going to be buying. Well, anyway, let's get on with the video. Let's get out of here. Let's head out of Kearsarge Pass.
All right, well, we're working our way up and out of Kearsarge Valley down there below. This is hard. I mean, our packs are still heavy, even without most of the food. It's still heavy. All of our base camp stuff, our tents, sleeping bags, clothes, bear can, cook stove, tent, all that's still in our pack. And we're at probably 11,500 feet right now, maybe 600 feet. We got a couple hundred feet to go. It's steep right here, and it's hard to breathe, really hard to breathe. We're working on it. Got about 23 feet, 20, 30 feet at a time. I can't even talk. And we got to stop and catch our breath. But boy, what a spectacular view of the Kearsarge pinnacles in the valley down there. Feels good just to stop for a second just to catch your wind. But we'll never get there. We keep stopping. I can see people at the pass right now. So we're getting there. All right. Top of that is Kearsarge Pass, that little V notch. 10,800 feet or 11,800 feet. That's how we got left. We got one big switchback going from right to left. And it looks like maybe another one going from left to right in a straight shot. But to give you an idea of what we've done this morning, we've come from all the way down there. There's 1 lake, 2 lake, 3 lake. We were in between lake 2 and 3 on one of the points out there, looking straight at the pinnacles. And then it's the very last Kearsarge Lake, and then way off in the distance is Bullfrog Lake. And then over that pass right there, going to the right, is what we did, dropping down to the PCT and Charlotte Lake. We got a view of the marine layer way out there. What an incredible view from up here.
Well, what'd you think of the video? What do you think of Kearsarge Pass? That's a gorgeous area in the John Muir Wilderness and Inyo National Forest, just on the west side of the town of Independence. But anyway, it was a great trip. We all had a good time. Nobody was hurt or injured. I did slip and fall, kind of tweaked my shoulder a little bit, but it's fine. And finally able to knock that off our bucket list. I've been there a few times, but Jerry and Dave had not, and we all loved it there. So anyway, in the next video, I'm going to take it a little out of turn because, you know, we did do a couple of nights out in the Mojave Preserve, and we went to Mitchell Caverns, and we watered some Joshua trees up on the Sima Dome. And we also took a long four-wheel drive trek out across the Mojave Road to see the Mojave Megaphone. So anyway, that was the thing that we did next. But what I'm going to do is I just completed my hike. I was talking about it in the preview. I just completed the hike up to Hot Springs Mountain. And there's some stuff in there that's related to the holiday season. I thought, you know what, maybe I'll take it out of turn and I'll just, you know, show this one next. So the next episode is going to be my little day hike up to Hot Springs Mountain. And you get to see what I did and what I experienced up on Hot Springs Mountain. And then we'll get into the Mojave Preserve. That'll probably be in the first of the year. So anyway. Be sure and click the like and subscribe button if you enjoy the channel, you enjoy watching it. I know I said I was going to keep the videos short, but I got quite a bit of feedback from people that actually like the longer videos. So this one is going to be a little longer, not that it was planned that way, but because we did do the day hike and then we also hiked up and over, and then I had the bear story. So it ran a little long, so hope you stuck with me on that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the new year. We'll probably have some good hikes planned. We'll do probably another backpack trip or two, maybe a car camp. You never know. There are some things on my bucket list we haven't done yet. So hopefully in the next several months, we'll get some of the planning stages of that knocked out, and we'll be able to, you know, let you know what we're up to for this next year. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.